Alrighty. So we're here with the Fazon Voltage, or Voltage Fazon. And we're just going to do some car park bashing. I've got the lithium ion batteries in there. I've got all 6 of them in there actually. That is full speed. Tell you what, this doesn't turn too bad. It's got a lot of steering. And you do need to be a little bit careful on the turns, otherwise you will spin out. And you see, if you ease off on the throttle, squeeze when you start straightening up, it actually does very well. So there we go. For a little bit of a beginner RC, this isn't doing too bad at all. Even does donuts, how about that? It's got a lot of steering, really good. Drives really nice and straight and true. Obviously not very fast, as you can see. But it hooks in really nice, and you just have to be careful on those turns or you will most likely spin out. But that's it, that's full speed. I mean, this for a young kid, somebody that's never had an RC before, this is grouse. This is great. It's enough that if you hook it, the tyres aren't bad at all. I reckon if you put any more power through this, it'll really struggle. But man, this is alright. And of course with 6 batteries in there, we should be looking close to, whoa, spinning out. With 6 batteries in there, we should be looking at close to 30 minutes drive time. I mean, can you imagine having like 2 or 3 of these between friends and just doing little races in the backyard? Especially if you've got a bit of room. Oh, there it is. There's the jackknife of a 2-wheel drive. Got to be so gentle on the trigger. Easy. There we go. Well, I think we've seen what it can do out here. Don't want to bore you too much. Let's take off some dirt. Alright, so here's going to be a bit of a mix. We're going to see what it does around the bend. There's not a lot of speed, but you can see the car is so light. Coming in, oh, keeping it nice and steady, come on. There it is there. When we get to the end, whew, spin it around. Back out this way, oh, stay on the track. Yes, there we go. Obviously not a lot of power to really spin those rear tyres, but there's enough if you get momentum. Oh, spun out. You see what I mean? You get momentum, you don't get your lines right, you will spin out. One of the things that I have mentioned to ARRMA in the past is if they'll bring like an AVC type technology with their beginner RCs. Because I mean, Horizon's got it, Traxxas has got it. ARRMA's really the only big one that doesn't have anything like that. And I'd love to see them bring out some kind of AVC tech with some of their RCs. Because that would help a lot of young folks out if they're trying to get into the hobby and they're having difficulty controlling their cars. I mean, even I spinning out from time to time here. Can't go too fast around the bend. Does well on grass. This thing's got so much steering. You almost have to dial down your dual rates with this thing. It has a lot of steering. If you're not careful and you give a bit too much input, the rear wants to spin around. Oh, look at that, look at that. Yes, he's done it, ladies and gentlemen. And now we spin it around. Oh, full speed into the corner. A little bit of sideways. Yes. This thing is doing brilliantly. Alright, come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't spin out. Don't spin out. Oh, counter steer. Don't spin out. Oh, just. Yeah. Spin it around. Come on. Back out this way. Yes. Wow. This is cool. Oh, a little bouncy. A little bouncy. I did say it was slightly underdampened, but maybe it's actually slightly oversprung. So, let's go. Come on. Oh yeah, that was awesome. Keeping it flat around the bend. It's the best feeling when you can stay in control of the car, no matter what speed you're doing. Oh yeah, nice and steady. I'm starting to get the hang of this now. Alright. Last one. Yes. Yes. Oh, too easy. Flat stick all the way around. Now those batteries did take a few hours to charge. I think there was somewhere between, I don't know, 2 to 3 hours each, maybe a bit longer than that. And they already had some charge in them, so it'll be interesting to see how long they actually take to charge once they're fully flat. Alright, so let's go in the BMX track. Alright, so is this thing going to make it around here? Let's find out. Wow, compared to some of my other cars, I understand that a lot of people will be going, well, this is underwhelming. Hey, look, a jump! It makes it. I mean, this is slow, not going to deny it. That's full speed all the way down the straight. Full speed, up the jump. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it feels like it's oversprung because the car is so light. It just bounces really hard. See, the thing is, if you go and put thicker oil in it, what will happen is it'll just make it super stiff because the car doesn't have any weight. So you really need to soften those springs, I think. Still have the same rate of travel, but just a softer spring I think would have made a lot of difference to this. And it would have made it a little bit more planted. There we go, full speed. Now you'll notice the grass is being cut, and I've got to give a big shout out to a triple threat actually. He is a viewer of the channel. He's also a customer of mine over at Metro Hobbies, and he's become a friend. He's come over with his lawnmower and cut the grass at the BMX track, obviously to neaten it up for me. And I was here when he was cutting it, and he was like, yeah, you know, I've cut it all up for you, so now your videos should look really good and everything. So big shout out to Dave. Dave Matheson, I think his name is. And yeah, he did a great job. A couple of days ago he came out here and cut the grass up. Good on you, Dave. It was bloody hot that morning too, so it's a passion of his. Obviously he's got a few RCs himself. Oh no, we're stuck. And yeah, he wanted to come out here and clean up the track. So there we go. This little guy doing not too bad. I mean, let's face it, it's a beginner RC. This here in Australia is going to retail for a couple of $100, I think. It's going to be like $199. You really can't ask for more than this for a couple of $100 from a reputable brand like ARRMA. And especially when you take into account the tech that this has. I mean, we've now been running this for almost 9 minutes, and the car's got no signs of slowing down, which is brilliant. Alright, we'll do one more lap and we'll switch locations. And up. And up. And there we go. I mean, for a little kid, for somebody that's young and doesn't really know much about RC, this can be a lot of fun on a slippery surface like this. You can do all sorts of dollies. Very fun. Alright, let's go bigger. Now, I really don't see this as doing huge jumps around here, but I like to give my RCs all the same tests, which is why I run them in the same location. I've had a couple of people complain about, oh, you know, you should change locations and so forth, but to be honest, I do sometimes go to Altona, and I'm planning on actually going to a different track that's not too far from here either. But I like to test my RCs out here so that they're all comparable. You can see how one runs compared to the other, what the handling is, what the speed is, and you can kind of compare them a little bit better. If I'm always changing locations, that's going to make it hard, because the terrain might be different, the conditions are different. Alright, can we do a jump? No, we can't. That barely just goes over the hill. So you see over here the grass is all nice and trimmed, which is just perfect for this little guy to get around in. Come on, can we, oops, come on. No, oh yes, we did a jump. We did a jump, we did a thing. We did a thing. Come on. Yay! Might have to come over here just so we can see the landings. This thing is landing very softly on the grass. And again, get a bit of a run up, straighten up, and yay! There we go, look at that. Like I said, this is designed and really targeted for young kids. We're talking probably under 10. Somebody that's never had an RC before. Designed to be simple, durable, cheap, and just for a bit of fun. And of course, once you get your feet wet and you're like, yeah, you know what, I want to go faster. I want something that's four-wheel drive. I want something that's bigger. Well, there's plenty of others out there that will cater to your needs once you get used to this. But being two-wheel drive as well, it does teach you a little bit of throttle control, which is important. You don't just peg it and leave it pegged for the whole time you're running it. And I picked up a hitchhiker. Let's see if we can get rid of him. Come on, jump, 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 jump. Oh, didn't make it. Oh, we got rid of the hitchhiker though. And how long can this video be with 6 batteries in there? Yeah, go. I'm kind of, you know, I haven't tumbled it yet because obviously it's not going fast enough to do that, but I'm kind of waiting to see if anything bad happens. Something pops out, something, whoa, there, look, there's our tumble. We did a tumble. I'm hearing some spur gear clicking every once in a while. I wonder if the spur gear is starting to get some dirt in there. I don't know if you guys have picked up on it, but I've heard a little bit of spur gear clicking. I've also zoomed in a little bit on the car because I know that it's only small, and I'll make sure I get it in frame and you guys have a close-up look at it. I think the front suspension's actually really good. I think the back needs some tuning, especially when you come off those bigger bumps. It just has a tendency to really, you can see it bobbing around in the rear quite badly, so I think it might need maybe just slightly heavier oil in the rear, leave the front as it is. I think that's probably the only thing I'm going to do to it. Oh yeah, that's big air for this little guy. That was big air. And it's not going to do much of a jump going the other way because it's slowing down because of the grass. But if we go this way, whoops, and we can line it up, we actually get a little bit of air, which is fun. Quite a contrast from the 1/8 scale Fazon, no doubt, for those of you who have seen me beat that thing and have seen the running videos of that on YouTube. You know, the Fazon 6S, big powerful machine, 60 miles an hour. And then you got its little baby brother over here. It's like it's only just starting to learn how to walk. And, you know, big brother's looking on going, well done little buddy, you'll get there, you'll get there. Keep practicing. Just the batteries will not quit. Batteries will not quit. Alright, so let's change locations. It must be getting a little bit boring over at this side. Let's go around the bend. Let's see how it does around there. clearly not the fastest RC I've ever had, but I tell you what, not the worst. I'm still got it, like when you see me doing this, I've got it floored all the way. Like I'm squeezing the trigger as much as it'll go. Will not allow any more speed out of this. But you can see that it's actually handling very nicely. It's not uncomposed. It's not wild. It's not doing anything unpredictable. The rear tyres could probably be a little better for this terrain, but they're not terrible. And given the power that this thing has, they're not doing anything out of the ordinary. I'm not finding it hard to control the vehicle. You know, it gets a little bit of air here and there, and so far so good. Nothing's broken. Seems to be doing just fine. And obviously at this sort of speed, it's unlikely that you'll do any sort of major damage to it. So the fact that it has already what looks to be fairly durable A-arms and, you know, fairly tough looking chassis and everything else, and you know, you're unlikely to really hurt this thing. Whoops. Oh, don't get bogged on the tall grass because it's only two-wheel drive. You see that it is kind of predictable. You can see the suspension bouncing a little bit, so I think it's definitely a bit oversprung. The suspension is not perfect, but it's certainly not terrible. I've driven cars with the worst setup out of the box that cost a hell of a lot more than this. So the Cheetah certainly comes to mind. The GLB Cheetah had horrible suspension. It was good for jumping and nothing else really. This thing needs slightly better suspension for handling, just to soak up all the little bumps rather than bounce around through them. And I reckon slightly heavier shock oil in the rear, or maybe slightly softer springs. I'm not sure which way to go on that one because it doesn't look like it's sagging or anything. It just needs to really soften up in the rear a little bit, just absorb the landings. Obviously the motor and everything is on the back there in the transmission, so that's where most of its weight is at. So it definitely needs to really slow down that motion. So I don't know, maybe I'll try, just since I've got so many oils, I might try just slightly heavier. Oh, that was a kick up and a half. There we go, first accident. I'll quickly flip this guy over. I think I've buckled my body too because it landed really awkwardly on the rear there. But I think slightly heavier shock oil in the rear might help out a little bit here. Wow, that was a massive kick up. It's like somebody just ass punched the car as it was going up on the jump, and the thing just did a front flip. And for those of you who don't know what I'm referring to, ass punching, go watch that, what's that name of that movie with Roy Schneider? Juice Bigelow, that's the one, where he ass punches somebody, and I found that hilarious. That movie was so good when it came out. I remember seeing that in the cinemas. Anyway, just to show how old I am. Alright, so this thing's doing well. Alright, should we try this out on the big jump and just see if we can even just get some air out of that? Let's give it a go, shall we? Woo! Okay. Wow, look at the rut. So I must have hit that rock right there when I was going up, and it just flipped the car forward. Oh, a little bit of air and another little bit of air. This is cool. Alright, we don't need to go all the way to the top. We're going to go straight from here. Come on, make it. Yes! So you heard, I don't know if you heard that, it just slaps that rear. And this is a light vehicle, so how can we slow down that motion? We need to put some thicker oil in the rear. Hopefully it won't be too bouncy. This thing's cool. Like, I know there's going to be people watching this and going, man, this is boring. This guy's so slow. Why would you get this? Well, because I like to test out all different cars, and there are people out there who don't have $500 to buy a Creighton or a Senton or any of these other cars that are quite expensive. Or perhaps they're not quite ready for that kind of speed. And let's face it, there are a lot of young kids out there that want to perhaps get something that looks as cool as the Fazon, but obviously isn't as fast. And it's cheap to run, cheap to buy. And this, I think, is doing a pretty darn good job. I mean, oh, hearing that clicking sound again. You see, it's got good grip on tarmac. And as long as you're pretty easy on the throttle on the turns, even on gravel, this thing hooks up well and turns nice, and you can see there, bang. You just turn it a little bit. Oh, collecting a rock on the way up. Come on, little buddy. Come on, you can do it, little buddy. Hey, why don't we do something cool here, since I'm just having a bit of fun. Why don't we try and get a really cool shot of this thing coming up the jump here. Oh, maybe that wasn't the best angle. But let's see. Oops. I'm looking at the camera for a second then, just to make sure that I've got it in shot. Alright, here we go. Line it up. And yoo-hoo! That was cool. Alright, I'll just quickly turn it around because I'm on my knees. Or I'm on one knee and it's a bit hard to turn myself around. Alright, let's try it again. See if we can get a really cool shot of this thing coming by here. Yeah! Let's try it again. I might get in a little bit closer. And we'll try and maybe we'll grab a thumbnail out of it. Let's see what we can do. Coming in. Yay! Turn it around before it goes down. Oops. Let's try it one more time. Here we go. Coming right towards us. Yoo-hoo! Yes, that was cool. See, you can still have fun with this. Play little games like this. Alright. Let's just do some doughies. See if we can burn out these batteries, because I'm pretty sure we should be pushing upwards of 20 minutes now. So these batteries should just be about done. I mean, look at this. You can actually do controlled doughies and pull out of them as well, which is can be hard to do with super powerful cars. Figure eights, oh, right in the edge. Ken Block style. Come on. Just keeping it pegged. Come on, come on. Those batteries have got to be dying. That motor's got to be pretty much peaking. I mean, I'm going to have to obviously work out, you know, how much runtime we got out of this. And I'll put it at the end of the video. But, man, I'll tell you what. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Whoa, yes! I think that's the winner. I'm hoping it is, because that was awesome. Alright, let's try it again. Getting right in on it. Getting right in its face. Yes! That is awesome. Come on. A couple more doughies. This time we'll stay down low. Oh, can he make it up the hill? Yes, it can. Ladies and gentlemen, this little Fazon is not doing too badly at all. Woo! Tell you what, there's something about running an RC in the afternoon where you get the dusty clouds that create kind of like a silhouette in the sun, especially as the sun is setting. It's really cool. Yeah. Come on, little champion. You're a little champion. Two-wheel drive, little stadium truck. You know, I never had the Vortex. I've always wanted something like this in the past. And I'm glad I finally got this guy. So slick looking, so cool looking. Two-wheel drive, little stadium truck. Now, can you go brushless with this? Yes, you probably can. Would you really want to? I mean, brushless system will cost you just as much as the car. You know, and at the end of the day, is it worth it? You're better off leaving this for the younger crowd, for the novices, for the inexperienced. That's where I would keep this guy. And you know what? Even though this is really easy to drive for me, and it's, you know, I've got cars that are obviously a lot better than this and a lot faster than this, I'm going to hang on to this little guy. I don't think I see myself getting rid of it, because more often than not, you'd be surprised how many times I come out to the track and there's, you know, little kids buzzing around and they want to have a go at my cars. And if I keep this guy in the boot, I can always say, hey, you know what? Have a go at this. Enjoy this one. If you can drive this, then you're good. I'll give you a go at the faster ones. And I think that's really, this is the type of car you keep as a spare. Cheap to buy, cheap to run, cheap to maintain. Oh, I think the batteries have finally given out. I can hear it dying. I can feel it dying. I think they are finally just about done. I mean, I've been doing this now for 8 minutes continuously just in this scene. Oh. No, it's still going. I can feel it dying, but it's just not quitting. And I'm pretty sure there would be a low voltage cutoff of some kind, because I do have it in that lithium ion mode. Come on. Oof, oof. Bumpy, bumpy. Come on. Oh, I can feel it dying. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Alright, we are done. There we go. That's just 9 minutes in this little section here, trying to kill these batteries. Obviously I'll put the total time up on screen of runtime. I only drove it very lightly between locations, so maybe I don't know, 20 seconds or 30 seconds to the overall time there, but that's about it. There we go, the first run of the Fazon Voltage with the lithium ion packs, the little what is it, 18650 batteries, which are also used in the Tesla cars, and a lot of vaping guys actually use them in their little vaping machine thingies. And yeah, there we go, 6 of them. Got about half an hour's runtime, which I think is pretty darn cool for batteries that aren't really that expensive. And yeah, definitely for a young kid, this will keep them occupied for a very long time. Alright guys, that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. It's all good to me. Don't forget to check out the video description for more information on the Fazon Voltage, or Voltage Fazon, as well as links to my social media pages. I thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.